Hey folks, this is Nathan from Vinyl Cut and Body Slams and Dropkicks. I've got a lot of stuff on my mind right now, and I feel like this is the best time to let that all out and let everybody know what the heck is going on. As some of you may or may not know, I'm currently in a play. It's Mistletoes and Tales, The Tomton's Christmas. That is coming to the Godrich Livery starting December 8th. It's running for about 2 weeks. It's really, really funny. It's a great thing to bring your kids to. I wholeheartedly recommend it. If you're in the area, come and see it. It's a fantastic show. That being said, that's not why I'm here. Over the past 4 weeks, a lot of changes have happened in my life, and trust me, not all of them good. First things first, my grandmother died. She was the biggest supporter and cheerleader I could have had in my life. And she passed away at the age of 96. That's hit me very, very deeply. And then the other deaths hit. For Final Cut Presents the Director's Cut podcast. All while we're away with work and plays and other things like that, just trying to be the best us as we can be. And we come back and we see Kevin Conroy's passed away. Jason David Frank has passed away, and I can tell you right now, it's not a good time to be able to wake up. So I feel like maybe getting this out will help me. Aside from my grandmother, who it's a very intense, very personal connection, and I'm sure I'll tell you guys at some point in time, but not now. Kevin Conroy and Jason David Frank, when the three of us got together, were two of the only people. I think Mark Hamill was the only other one that was universally on everybody's get list for interviews, because Kevin Conroy and Jason David Frank shaped our lives in a lot of different ways. Whether it be in my case, where Kevin Conroy, for example, shaped the way I look at Batman, shaped the way I look at superheroes in general, and gave the best stamp performance because of the dichotomous nature of Batman and Bruce Wayne, and trying to separate those two identities. And the further he went on with the Batman role, the more that Batman and Bruce Wayne started to meld in his mind, particularly as it came to Batman Beyond, where only a little bit of that human Bruce came out, and a lot of it was more the grizzled hero we all needed, not the one we wanted. Kevin could use his voice in ways that I wish you could learn, but there is no way around it, no crawls around it. Kevin was an amazing talent, and I'm happy to have listened to him. And I'm happy in some way, shape, and form he was able to inspire something in Dr. J's self-help, because, anytime you put on the Joker voice, at least for me, because of the one I'm doing, I only imagine that the Kevin Conroy Batman is going to be the one that's eventually sitting on the other side of the desk, if you know what I mean. And well, now that's never going to happen. And you hear all these stories of Kevin Conroy outside of it. I remember just as soon as the news broke and people got onto Twitter, there was this post of Kevin Conroy in a shelter for people who were displaced by 9/11, and somebody recognized him, and they were like, "Oh my God, you're Batman!" And Kevin just played it off. They go back, tell everybody Batman's making pancakes, And that's when Kevin, he got a sparkle in his eye and said the classic, "I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman." And the whole place just goes absolutely bonkers because that is legitimately Batman. And he is filling all of these adults with so much joy. And that is the kind of thing as a voice actor you always strive to do. So I can't imagine what his family's going through. I can't imagine what his friends are going through. People like Tara Strong, Mark Hamill, and my heart goes out to each and every one of them. He was my Batman, and I've got this image in my head right now. If anyone tries to tell me that anybody's better than Kevin Conroy now, I'm just going to look at them and say, "You're not Batman!" It's really numbing to know that when your cheerleader goes, so too does a god. And we get, of course, to the other unfortunate news of Jason David Frank committing suicide in a Texas hotel room at the age of 49. I remember reading this and my soul was just like, great. Who else can you take from me? Jason David Frank, to me, was very, very much the personification of badass. You look at Tommy, you know shit's going to get real. Jason David Frank brought legitimacy to a show that was Japanese footage of people in spandex suits fighting monsters, putty patrols, etc. The second that Jason David Frank appeared in Green with Evil, you knew that shit was going to get real. You knew that this wasn't just, your hokey cult classic 40 episode show anymore. It was a phenomenon, and that doesn't take away certainly from Austin St. John, Walter Jones, Twee Trang, Amy Jo Johnson, and of course David Yost, who up until Tommy was my favorite Power Ranger. I just want to let that sink in to everybody. But Tommy was different. He was the person with an arc. He was the person with a story. And if you look at Jason David Frank, the person with everything he's gone through, both success-wise and failure-wise, JDF was a hell of a guy. Always there for his family, always there for his friends, seemingly. He was a jokester, he was insane at times, but he was always there, and he would always bend over backwards to try to make sure that one person who would only ever have one chance to see him got something that they knew. I never had the opportunity to see Jason David Frank, meet Jason David Frank, but I know what he inspired in me, and I know what he inspired in one of my co-hosts. For me personally, I will remember growing out of Power Rangers at the age of 4 or 5, because Global, the network at the time that I could actually get access to, stopped showing Power Rangers. And then it was around 2002 when Power Rangers Wild Force aired. I knew Power Rangers from when I was a kid, and yes, these were the Power Rangers, and then Forever Red rolled around for Power Rangers Wild Force, and there's Jason David Frank, there's Tommy. I remember Tommy. Tommy was an absolute badass, and then you see Jason David Frank doing all the spin kicks and more fights, and it just brought you back to a time when nothing else matters. You had the Power Rangers lunchbox that you still have in your closet to this day. It was absolutely insane. And then Jason David Frank comes back for Dino Thunder. You watch all of Dino Thunder because holy crap, you're pumped. You actually watch half of SPD because Jason David Frank showed up and restored your faith in how badass this crazy hokey show is. JDF was there at all times. He was on at all times. And I really wish I could have helped. I mean, with Kevin Conroy's case, cancer is no joke, certainly. But in JDF's case, I wish I could have helped. In both of these guys' cases, when I had the opportunity to look at the deaths, I sat alone in a dark room, just brooding, because these are all great people, great, wonderful people who inspired hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to be their best every day. And now they can't do that anymore. We will never see Kevin Conroy don the cowl again. We'll never see Jason David Frank yell "It's morphin' time" at the top of his lungs ever again, and it's a bitter pill to swallow that life can just be taken away like that. I urge each and every one of you, if you're feeling shook up by these deaths or any death in your life, talk to somebody. Get help. Because you are a much greater gift than you know. Sometimes I have to tell myself that. That's all I gotta say. Thank you for your time.